Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 4 of Laredoans Behind the Business. Today's guest, I have Heather. I actually didn't get your last name. Heather
Garcia.
Heather Garcia. I have Heather Garcia here with me today on episode number 4. This one's kind of different. It's a little special. Heather has a business who it involves the... I'll let you explain that a little bit so I don't botch it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So go ahead.
So, like, every time maybe someone passes away or if a family member just decides they want to downsize or just move, they want to sell all the belongings and they don't just want to donate their stuff, that's where we would come in. We would help them have a sale. It would most likely be during a weekend, but we would only take commission and then their family would get the rest of the money.
Okay.
But yeah, we would just help them like liquidate the contents of their house,
Right.
And just make sure it's like decently tidy, before we leave.
And this involves, I guess, personal items,
Yeah.
Stuff that they might not want to hold on to, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have a name for your business?
Sustainable Estate Liquidation Solutions.
Okay, Sustainable Estate Liquidation Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you heard that, folks. It's Sustainable Estate Liquidation Solutions, right? And Heather's not from here. She's not from Laredo, but she is from Arizona. But she did mention to me that she is moving over here, or she moved over here in July of this past year of 2022. And now she wants to bring the business that she has in Arizona. She wants to bring it to Laredo, and she wants to make it more... I would say formally known in Laredo, because that's, for me, it's something that I have not heard of. It's definitely new to me. So if it's new to me, it's going to be new to everybody else. And I'm sure you've had that experience with several people already, as you were mentioning earlier, right?
Yes. Just trying to explain like estate liquidation. People just don't understand. I've heard, like my mother-in-law, she says culturally people like it's kind of known like culturally here anyway. I guess people like to hold on to their family's items and just use it, or they just donate it or they trash it.
Right.
And that just breaks my heart.
Yeah, especially when it's thrown away.
Yeah.
Especially something that has been passed down for many generations, and I get it, certain family members, they might decide, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with it anymore. Yeah. But to see it kind of thrown in the trash it's really heartbreaking. So I share your sentiment in the fact that, let somebody else appreciate it, and not let it go to waste. And I applaud you for coming forward and messaging me, because I know for some people it takes a lot out of, they get discouraged with the no's, and especially someone who is new to Laredo. I just wanted to say that I applaud you for messaging me, and I give you kudos, because you'll get that 100 no's, but what if it's that 101, and maybe I was that 101, and like I mentioned to you earlier, there's not really a platform for businesses out here to promote themselves. I seek nothing in return. Heather is not paying me, and she's not paying to be on this show. And I agreed for her to be on this show. So I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're bringing this kind of I wouldn't say content, but the type of business to Laredo, because it's very different, and I think it's something that people need, especially when a family member passes away. Yeah. So yeah, you're from Arizona, and you still have that business over there. Yes. Explain that a little bit.
So yeah, people kind of contact us, and it's either through word of mouth that they heard about us. We're also on social media too. And actually, like, we've gotten the last couple of clients, like my business partner and I, like, we've either gone to a yard sale and we're talking to them about our business, and they're like, "Oh, we could use your help, actually." and so we end up like helping, out with either their yard sale or just doing a sale for them. But yeah, I actually have to go back in January to do a couple more sales, January and February. So I'll be out there a couple
Are you
more
originally
months.
from Arizona?
No, I'm originally from California.
Okay, and that's why your Instagram handle is LA Fashion Snob,
Yeah,
right? Okay, gotcha. That's cool.
One of many Instagram handles.
That's fine. One of the biggest questions that me and my wife had, because my wife will kind of back me up on the questions. There are so many other cities with bigger cities with more opportunity. Why did you choose Laredo? That's one of the reasons. That's a big question that a lot of Laredoans have, especially from outsiders coming in. We always say, why do people come to this town? And now that I have this podcast, I'm trying to change that, and I get it from people's perspective, but I want to hear your answer as to why you chose Laredo.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my husband, he's Hispanic. His family lives here.
Okay.
So we've traveled kind of back and forth, here, Arizona, and so, like, he, and we would go back, and we were wanting to buy a house in Arizona, right? So,
Right.
but then the housing market kind of got crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But then, on our recent visit here in Laredo, we would go around we went to like Del Mar area and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, we could afford a house like this, but like it would be 10 times cheaper than it would be out in Arizona,
Right.
to live.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, well, let's maybe see about getting a house here for now. And, and then he'd be, by his parents and stuff. They're
Right.
getting up in age too. And,
So you all have family here.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what kind of brings you.
Yeah.
You as the outsider, that kind of brings you into Laredo.
Yeah.
And how do you like Laredo? How does Laredo treat you? Is there
I mean, it's okay. Like, there's a lot of great local coffee shops.
Yeah.
I actually found Borderland was the first coffee shop that I went to here.
Nice.
And I found them on the Visit Laredo website, and they were amazing. Really made me feel welcome. Like, they were my people.
Yeah.
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 So they're just the great coffee shops. I've been meeting a lot of nice people. It is different culturally.
Yeah.
And trying, my husband and I, we don't really cook as much. We like to go get takeout and stuff. So
Sure, yeah.
trying to find decent restaurants is
Yeah.
a little hard.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie,
Yeah, and the Mexican food is completely different from here than it is in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, there's not a lot of diverse restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
and shout out to Kai Todd. Kai Todd is a Thai restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if you've had them yet. If you've been there.
we did.
Yeah, and that's one of the. To me, it's a different palate, and it's a nice change of taste to be brought into Laredo. So I really enjoyed their food, and I don't know if you did or not.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It
Yeah.
was about average, I'd
Yeah.
say, that I've had so far.
That's good.
But good,
Yeah.
You should definitely check out Nan and Curry. So they're on Instagram.
Okay.
They're not a restaurant. But you can call them. They have
Yeah.
their menu and stuff online and Instagram and stuff. They're amazing.
That's awesome. And they're here in Laredo?
They are here in
Wow,
Laredo.
I've never heard of them. I'm gonna have to check them out.
They're incredible. The only
That's awesome. And are there any other experiences in Laredo that you want to share, or that that something stands out? No, that's all right. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
It's kind of. That's
Cool. We're gonna kind of change the subject a little bit, but why do you feel is it important for these families to have a business like yours? I know you mentioned earlier that they might not want to hold on to certain family belongings, and you don't want to see it get it thrown away. But what is there another reason that you feel that that's important, or that your business is important?
it's just like if they don't want to if they need to sell the house and, you know, they want to also make money, it's a great way to make money.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great way to maybe even bring people, because we advertise on estatesales.net.
Okay.
So it'd be a great way to like bring people to Laredo too, to like come shop at these sales.
Right.
It's like, oh, Laredo finally has an estate sale. Wow.
Yeah.
It never pops up on the app.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's about the family making money. It's about helping them, you know, through usually difficult times,
right.
being there for them. You know, I want to be there for them. I want to, you know, it's, to me, like, yes, making money is great, but also like keeping stuff out of landfills and being able to maybe like the stuff that's left over from the sales, like we want to mindfully like redistribute throughout the community. Like I don't want to go to like the big box thrift stores and donate, you know. I want to donate to local organizations that could use the items,
right?
Or family members or small businesses that could use something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
and that's the next question that I was going to ask. You get these items from, you know, you buy the items, right?
So like, let's say,
or the families donate them to you.
If let's say we have a sale, and you know, people come in, shop, they buy, sales done.
Right.
There's stuff left over.
Okay.
And the family's like, get rid of it. Like, we don't want it.
Right.
You know. So we would just donate everything else. Like we would.
And you just mentioned you donate them to like, small businesses or, you know, whoever might be looking for, you know, little knickknacks or something like that. Okay. And that's what I was going to ask, you know, if you donate it back to, you know, like, let's say Goodwill, but you probably meant
we try not to.
Yeah.
That's like Goodwill, Savers. Like,
yeah. And is there something that might set your business apart from the bigger businesses other than Goodwill being a big national chain store or thrift store? Is there something that sets you apart that you think?
So I believe that we are like the first estate liquidation business that actually tries to like keep stuff out of landfills. Okay. Like I worked for a company like for 5 years, and just the amount of waste that I saw, like we would just donate stuff or just toss stuff that was like torn, dated, like chipped, you know.
Right, just small little stuff
that could be still reused.
Right.
You know, or donated to like a better cause.
Okay.
Like bras, we would just trash.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, there's actually like a bra place in Tucson that actually like you can donate to them, and they'll give bras to like, you know, these women's shelters.
Oh, really?
Who need them, wow. You know? And it's just unbelievable. Like,
yeah, no, and that's crazy because I mean there are several places here that feed the homeless. Yeah. And I've never heard of them providing clothes, and they might. I'm not saying that they don't, but I haven't heard of them providing clothes. So that's a good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good alternative.
Like we go out of our way to seek out like places that need something or that could use, like, I don't know, coffee, like local coffee shops that need mugs. Okay, we have mugs left over from our sale. Do you want them? Take them. You know, we're glad to give them to you. Yeah. Instead of just, you know, donating them to like
Goodwill or whatever, or even getting thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And if it's a cool mug, you know, why not hang on to it or reappreciate it, because you know that's the whole thing, is the reappreciation.
Yes.
And the value of that item. Is there a personal motivation that keeps you going behind this little business of yours?
Keeping stuff out of landfills.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, like every time we've donated to like the local organizations and stuff, like just knowing that it's gonna get appreciated. Oh, I can't even talk this morning. That it's going to get valued. It's going to get loved again. You know, somehow it's not going to go into the landfills. It's not going to go to not like a for-profit like place.
Yeah.
It really like helps to motivate me, I feel like.
Okay.
You know, and also just, you know, knowing that the family, like being able to tell the family is like, look, we're going to take care of your stuff. You know, we're not going to like just, you know,
like get rid
of it because it has a stain on it. Heaven forbid.
Right.
You know, we have connections. We can, you know, make sure it gets rehomed, you know,
awesome.
as best as possible.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
that's good. Yeah.
like that's,
and you know, you mentioned a lot of these items staying out of the landfill, and I'm not saying that I'm not the most environment friendly, and I try to be as most as I can, but I would assume that you try to be environment friendly as you can, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's only so much you can do, but just try to do the best that you can.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's.
And does that I mean, I know the whole wave of being environment friendly came maybe 10, 15 years ago and is still kind of there. Do you feel like you do you feel like that has been your whole, like that has been throughout your whole life, or just recently, or?
You know, I feel like it has changed, like probably a few years, at least a few years.
In the past few years?
Yeah. It's changed.
More stronger?
Stronger.
Stronger, yeah.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Just hearing about, you know, just the fast fashion and like the global warming and climate change, and like it's ramping up and more and more people talking about it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, you know, and then also just when I was working at that other company, just seeing all that stuff go to waste, it was just really.
Was it a landfill company, or was it?
No,
it was a waste company.
It was an estate sale company.
Oh, was it? Oh, so you've done this before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
on a larger scale.
Well, so they're a little bit bigger than us.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah.
Right.
But like, I understand that we have to, that while I was working for them, like we had to like get things done at a certain time, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I think, why it was like they didn't seem to care. Like it was just
not having that empathy behind.
Yeah, not having that empathy, and just, well, if it's dated, if it's just torn, stained.
Because at that point, I think it'd be for a business that big, or you know, for an organization that big, it doesn't. The empathy kind of gets thrown out the window, and now it's more of the money,
yeah.
right? The dollar amount.
It's all about the mighty dollar.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, you know, and I applaud for what you're doing, because it seems like you really have a passion for it.
I do.
Yeah, and it seems like you want to take care of the families after the transaction is made.
Yeah.
Which is a big...
Exactly.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I don't want it to be just about the transaction. Like,
right,
I want it... I just want to help them, you know, and just be there for them. Like, I'm sure... And, you know, people... So we have this new client, you know, and my business partner, Courtney,
mm-hmm.
Who is in Tucson right now. She is also kind of dealing with them more on a personal level right now.
Okay.
But you know, she was saying, and the realtor who is also dealing with them, you know, they're saying that, you know, this one lady, she's having a hard time letting go of stuff, you know, because it has been in the family. And it's like, well, they're downsizing and they can't take everything. And, you know, it's like, I feel for them, you know, and I definitely want to be there for them, as far as like be empathetic with them and tell them it's okay. Like, we're going to take care of your stuff. Like, we're not, you know. It's like, don't worry.
Everything will be okay in the end.
Everything will be okay.
Right,
like,
even though it might seem like it's not currently.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard. You know, that's a lot of people. I would say that it takes a special kind of person to do this kind of job, because not everybody has that not everybody can have that connection or have that empathy, and provide that shoulder to cry on, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when the families have really nowhere to look or nowhere to turn to, they have you at least. You know? And that's a big part. I think that plays a big role.
And I'm sure, like, you know, as we grow, hopefully, and get, that's my goal, but right. And it's just, man, I lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
It's like, as we grow, I still don't want to lose that empathy. You know, I still want to be there for them, and I'm sure we'll get those clients that'll be very hard to deal with too. So
yeah, and that,
you know,
that happens. I think that's just the customer side, or like the customer service side of things.
Yeah,
and that it never it never gets it never leaves that specific area of customer service, because no matter, you know, I was telling my wife the other day, in the job that I work with the firearms industry, and that's customer service kind of, you know. I told her, oh man, you know, the customers, you know, there's certain bad ones, so to speak, and then there's really good ones. But yeah, I think that never really leaves the customer service side of things. But have you had any success here in Laredo with estate liquidations?
We haven't gotten a client yet.
Okay.
You know, I've basically like flyered all the major funeral homes here.
Right.
And then I went to the Hamilton Senior Apartments in downtown, and the ladies did actually get what I was saying. So, hopefully
you might get a client or two.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard, especially when we're still so small and we don't have like a huge marketing budget to be like, hey, we're going to advertise in the paper, or, you know, we're going to advertise.
See our you know, on the billboard or whatever.
Right.
And that's what you mentioned on the Instagram post. And, you know, that's why I thought that this was a unique connection, because it like I mentioned earlier, it's really hard for somebody as an outsider coming in, trying to establish their business, and just trying to reach out to the community.
Yes.
And like I mentioned, there's really nothing for the community unless you have the money to pay for advertisement. Right. It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's really hard.
And also the language barrier. I do have to say, like, I took Spanish in high school, and I don't remember hardly any of it. Like, I mean, I know the basics, but I can't carry on a full conversation yet.
Yeah, and that's another.
So that's another thing.
Yeah, that's another obstacle.
You know.
So what are some other obstacles that you have? I mean, aside from the advertisement, the language barrier, and it may not be here, but it may be back in Arizona. What are some of the biggest obstacles that you have seen or encountered?
Not having a like physical location, you know, like a warehouse. Because some people, so, you know, they might live in an HOA where, oh, you can't have an estate sale here. It's like, well, what do? We don't have, you know, they're going to have to go to someone else who has a location. Right. And that really breaks my heart, because it's like, oh, you know, they're not going to get the same service. Right. As we would provide. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing, is like not having the physical location yet. Yeah. For like off-site estate sales or.
And do you feel like you're on the cusp of having a physical location in Arizona, or it's not there yet?
Not there yet. It's going to take probably a good year of like steady sales and income coming in.
Right. Yeah. And that's just the nature of the game, I guess, right?
I guess. Yeah.
How many estate liquidations do you have under your belt?
We have, let's see, I would say 2 good ones, and then my partner has helped with a couple like
so
rush
you're still
jobs.
Fairly new, and you're still like getting your feet wet, so to speak. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, that is really cool, because you're basically starting at the ground level. Yeah. And with nothing. Yeah, with nothing, and you're working with what you have. You're trying to, you know, tell people that, hey, I'm here and you can trust me with your belongings. Yes. And you have so much room for growth. Yes. And you know, you started in Arizona, and you're basically still starting, and now you're bringing your business over here to Laredo, especially for a town that has never seen anything like that before. So I really hope that it goes off in the right direction for you. What was your first estate liquidation like for you? Like, what was that experience like for you?
So it was my partner.
And how long ago was that?
This was in June, I believe, of this year.
Of this year, wow.
She went to their, like, they were having a yard sale. I think, or no, it was like a yard sale / estate sale. But like they were trying to run it and stuff, and so she stopped by because she likes to go yard sailing, like, on Saturdays and stuff. And she was telling them about our business, and so the person that was in charge was like, "Oh my gosh, like, we might use your help. Can we get a card?" And so my friend just gave her a card, and so like it was like, I think a few weeks later, we got a call from them saying, "Hey, yeah, we need your help."
Wow.
And I mean, the house wasn't full because they had gotten rid of stuff already.
Mm-hmm.
But the clients were like the coolest people. Like, that. So far, we've dealt with the coolest people. Just people that are actually like, they were so sweet. They were willing to even help us like clean and kind of get it ready, and even like during the sale, like they were there and just helping out if needed.
That's awesome. Just people helping people, really.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was like the customers that came in, like, we had some kind of, to be expected. Like,
right. Yeah.
But like the clients were just amazing. And
that's awesome. Going off of the first experience, and the people that you said you had encountered, did you feel that nervousness when you made that first estate liquidation?
Yes.
That stage fright, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. And what was that like for you?
I don't know if the right word is like imposter syndrome, but like,
yeah.
But I was like,
like, this is actually happening.
This is happening.
Right.
Like, are we ready? I mean, even though like we know what we're doing, like, but at the same time, it's like, well.
And you had the experience from your previous employment with the estate liquidation. How soon did you jump into, like, after that, did you jump into this business of your own?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you stopped and you kind of, you basically hit the ground running, so to speak.
Yeah.
But you had that experience going for you. But you still had the nerves, but the nerves mean you care, really, because if you don't,
I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah,
like I want to make sure like we do it right, or at least as the best way as possible.
Right, yeah. And are there any other experiences that you've had along the way? Maybe not with your first estate liquidation, but with the others that were different, or one that separated from the other?
I mean, we had another one. It was a little bit bigger, but we've had like a decent amount of time to like get it ready and done and stuff. But just trying, like, after the sale, there was still like some furniture left, and we had to like get everything out. So,
right.
Just trying to work with what we have, especially with like furniture, and trying to get people to maybe help like either load it, get it, either, well, we did the whole local like Facebook free groups, neighborhood free groups and stuff. Okay. So like trying to work with that, and meeting people to like get things gone, and so that was kind of hectic. But yeah, when you don't have like enough manpower and muscle, right, it kind of doesn't help. But at the same time, like, we can still get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people wanted to help you out here in Laredo, how would they go? Like, how would they contact you?
They could contact me.
Okay, yeah. And it's on a volunteer basis, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, like right now, I think unless we could probably pay a little something, but it's definitely like if you could help us, that'd be great.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
And I think the the aspect of your business is so interesting because my wife and I were actually talking about, well, actually she was talking about this type of business with me. And I don't know if she saw it on Instagram, or I don't know if she was just reading something, but she brought it up to me, and she said, "Hey, what if we made a business, because we always throw business ideas at each other and see which one will kind of stick and hit the wall." Um, but she threw this one at me, and she said, "What if we make a business and we help families out?" I know hers was a little different from yours, but it was kind of in the same area of helping families out and helping them sell their stuff after a family member has passed away. And when I first heard that, I was like, I don't know. I've never heard of anything like that. I don't know that it'll stick. Um, but to me, it sounded like a great idea. There's nothing like that here in town. So I think the timing of it is so unique, because my wife just mentioned it, not even more than a month ago.
wow.
And you
That's
just
crazy.
happened to message me, and I saw the message, and I said, that there it is. Like, that's our little,
Weird.
that's the universe saying, hey, there's somebody here that is doing this, and I think that's so awesome. Yeah, you're trying to, and I think that's so awesome. So, yeah, again, I just wanted to say that I think what you're doing is really, really cool. And I might have like a different tone, because it's not cool losing a family member, but
No.
I think the tone that I'm trying to come across is that this is very unique, the in the aspect of helping people out and just being there for them, and basically having a support system for that family member, and that's what you're here for.
Yeah, like
So.
we don't want to be just a transaction like a
Right,
lot of
yeah.
other companies are. Like there's one company in Tucson that like charges I think like 90%
Of the sales of what
the
they make.
sales. Like they get the 90%, the client gets like jack shit.
Yikes. Wow, that's
Like
that's
that's
robbery.
I know.
Yeah, that's robbery.
Like one of our recent clients said that she had tried to ask them about doing her sale, and that's what they told her, and we're just
Yikes.
floored.
Wow. That's so horrible, but I mean, I'm glad that you're there to change the dynamic of that,
Like we want to try and stay within like the 30%, but like we completely understand if like maybe the client maybe doesn't have money, or we want to like work with people. We
Right.
want to be there. We want to be a resource for them, like no matter the value of their house, that it's just we just want to help. Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My wife and I, before we recently bought this house, we had gone to a Habitat for Humanity, and they have one here in Laredo. And we roamed around, and we were looking at the furniture, the cups and the plates and stuff like that, just to see what we could find. And we ended up finding a rug. Do you feel like that is the type of warehouse that you would have, where if you brought stuff in, you would have stuff like a Habitat for Humanity kind of thing, or just a little bit different? Or,
Maybe just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, it depends on what type of warehouse is out there that we could even afford.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to be that big.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, there was so much stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
there was everything from the doors on the wall to small things like, I mean, there was computer wire. I mean, there was everything that you can think of. I mean, and rugs and like TV sets and stuff like that. So there was everything.
Wow.
But I'm not sure if you've been to that one here in Laredo yet.
I haven't. No.
Yeah. It's over there by the railroad tracks on Santa Ursula.
Okay.
Yeah, you pass the railroad tracks, and it's back there in that warehouse area.
Oh.
So, yeah,
I'll have to
it's a
check it
pretty cool
out.
thing to check out. And I'm not sure of the hours, but it was like from 12 to 5 or something like that during the weekdays. Or I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah,
No, I
I'll get
won't.
you the information. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say to the community? That is there anything that you
So, when we go to, process the house, like we want to make sure that, the family members that they go through the stuff first, get what they want. And then like, especially the personal items, photos, and, also like, even if they don't, even if they might miss something, and if we see something, while we're going through it, we'll definitely set it aside for them.
right?
But like, when the families are going through stuff, like don't throw away makeup, like don't throw away bras, underwear, anything that they think might be dirty, like we'll find a home for it. I know like makeup, like used makeup and stuff, we donated it to a funeral home in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, really?
I follow Hollis Funeral Home.
Okay.
They're amazing.
Wow.
They're on TikTok and Instagram. But
Shout out to them.
Ye-
What's the handle again?
it's at Hollis Funeral Home.
Okay. They might see this. They might not.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, we'll have to tag them on it. So.
So what gave me the idea to send it to them was because the daughter, who is also she's one of the morticians and she helps in the prep room and everything. She had mentioned that she her old makeup, like she'll just
Throw it
use
away.
it. She'll use it in the prep room.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh, that's a good idea,
Right.
Because there's
They do put makeup on
on
the people.
and it's like, well, if it's old or used, like doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
They
It's
still
just-
use it.
They still use it. So I thought it was a pretty substantial size small box that we gave them, and they were very appreciative. Like,
That's awesome.
so see, it's like stuff like that. Like we make sure it goes.
Yeah, like
To
it gets a
good
new home
use.
and it gets repurposed properly.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
shout out to local funeral homes. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys are listening and if you guys are watching, Heather here can help you out, and she might not be able to get you everything, but she can definitely, get you in the right direction.
Yes.
Or, even vice versa. You might be able to get her in the right direction of a family member in need. So that's really awesome. And is there anything else that that you want to say to the community, as far as outreach or anything really?
Definitely feel free. If you guys need help with like family, if your family member passes away, or if you need downsizing help, feel free to reach out. My Instagram handle is Sustainable Estate Sales. I'm also on we're also on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, I will definitely help you out as best as possible. And then if you need help with if Spanish translation is a thing, I can see what I can do. My mother-in-law might be able to help with that, speaking Spanish, and my husband too, and so I'm sure they can help with that.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. You said your Instagram handle was
at Sustainable Estate Sales.
At Sustainable Estate Sales. I'll go ahead and be sure to put it in the description for YouTube and Spotify. Awesome. Anything else really? Yeah.
So I'm Heather and my business partner is Courtney. She's a very good friend of mine. We both love old stuff. we both love like estate sales too. We love going to estate sales, and and now we're just nitpicky about how the companies do it.
Yeah.
But you know, we both are very experienced. We will, you know, definitely get the job done and treat your stuff with respect, and you know, respect the families, and
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So cool. Again, I really want to thank you for coming on the show. I enjoyed having you on the show. This is a different type of business, and again, I created this podcast to provide a platform for people like you and your business, because it is so difficult for, again, like I said, for an outsider coming into Laredo and trying to get their foot in the door and have people see you and, I guess, support you in a way, really. So, and it's hard, like I said, because if you don't have the money to advertise, it's really difficult. And like I mentioned to you, when I came back from Laredo with my business, you know, I've told people before that I came back and I thought, oh, you know, I'll have the same clientele and I'll get right back where I started. And it was not like that. It was basically starting from ground zero, really. And I had to reestablish a new clientele and, you know, promote myself for a different type of photography and graphic design. So I totally understand. And I hope that this platform provides you with that support. Yeah, I hope that your business ventures take you to places that you have not seen before. And I hope they take you in a wonderful way, that, you know, that your business prospers in a successful way. So again, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Again, this is Heather Garcia. She is with the
Sustainable Estate Liquidation Solutions.
Sustainable Estate Liquidations. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Merry Christmas to everybody watching and listening. Have a happy new year, and I hope that you and your family have a great holiday. And thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And this is Laredoans Behind the Business with Heather Garcia.